Types of materials undergo the smashing blow of the deadly plutonium weapon. Engineers make a trial run with instruments to record the terrific heat spawned by the blast.
Herself leads into the subject of menstruation, and daughters might be 10 or 11. That's all right. The obvious reason is to make sure that a girl knows both the natural and the spiritual significance of dysfunction before it happens.
This is the drug.
Eagerly studying for the coming of payday. Finally, Blandy says this is it. And on the eve of payday, Navy Secretary Forrestal tells correspondents from all nations assembled on the deck exactly what we are aiming for.
Crossroads personnel are checking in and locked in. Dr. Holloway, Alamos director, ready as a pound.
Essential in all sections of the on both the naturalist and fully menstrual function are explained by the world. There's an emotional overtone here too, trance or matter-of-fact presentation to boys. Here again, for convenience, subject matter has 2 or more talks.
Each hour nears, crews of the target vessels abandon ship with their gear. Men are checked and double-checked to make sure that no one remains aboard.
Hi, dear. What do you think?
Oh, another ride.
Out of my eyes.
The last man is Captain Billy Skinny, who remains to make sure every man is off before leaving himself. As he does, the striped all-clear signal flies at the yard arm. The Bikini fleet is ready for the hour of
There's so
sacrifice.
many parents. What should I teach my child about sex?
2 kinds are to be tested.
How
One
should I go
tower
about
is
it?
self-supporting
It's
without
intended for
guide
use
wires.
by parents'
The other has
organizations
supporting
and PTA
cables.
groups,
Both types
not
are very
children.
common.
It's not designed to be followed word for word.
Nearby, a complete radio transmitter will actually broadcast from
as an
tape
illustration
before the shot
of the
to
beautiful
be picked
story
up
of
by
creation,
radios in the test
told
house.
to children in a frank but perfectly
Both
natural
liquefied
way that
petroleum
combines
and
both
natural gas
spiritual
facilities
and
will be
biological elements. Only you, the parent, decide how and when to give these instructions to your child. Please don't see as my suggestion of a phrase or a situation may make your talk easier. In this first recording, a little boy, who might be 4 or 6, has just discovered that the neighbor's dog is giving birth to a mother hen. Out of this natural situation arises the first question, usual in all sex instruction. Where do babies
Every
come
eye in the observation fleet is
Father,
trained on Dave's dream.
answers in truth, seriously, but in a natural, informal way. Notice 2 things.
Bombardier Supreme
First, the father introduces the name of God and the divine's plan of reproduction very early. And this identification of God with creation carries naturally through the dialogue. Second, although the father answers the boy's further question, how does the baby get out of his mother's body, he gives a minimum of intrinsic.
This new design provides additional strength at a cost increase of approximately 10%. That's the real purpose of testing these houses, to find their weak points. Through the cooperation of the furniture and appliance industries, household furnishings were installed in the houses. Mannequin families supplied by private industry are to represent Mr. and Mrs. America.
Interior home furnishings donated by industry are complete with every detail. I looked at the
Curly, hey Curly! Yeah, I just had a bright idea. Any chance you're supposed to buy us a parasol by stretching the budget?
What budget?
Now look here.
You don't get outside, you exercise once in a while, you look nice sawing that little pile.
What do you mean exercise? I love the sawwood.
That is what No, especially
I love the
Canned and packing foods are to be tested. As a modern housewife,
Whatever the verdict, Operation Crossroads is the motion picture spectacle of all time. Now the salvage fleet steams towards Bikini Lagoon, and every precaution is taken to safeguard men on board against dangerous radioactive forces.
Does the blood
Of
come
the
in?
73-ship flotilla, 5 were sunk. Carrier Independence, closest to the blast center, was badly damaged. Many other target vessels were severely damaged, and from the destruction above decks, few men could have withstood the blast.
Then the whole fire starts all over.
While the final results are assessed, let's view the blast as filmed by another camera. Once again, we see the destructive power of atomic energy.
I'm going to
Survival in
That's quite a family dress, old girl. You did all right for
The night
yourself.
of the actual explosion, or rather early in the morning, came at last. On Media Hill, television equipment was ready to bring the test into homes from coast to coast. Reporters, commentators, military and civil defense observers all had a purpose: to study the results of this explosion. At a position a mile forward from Media Hill, the civil defense field
You know, the little
exercise
tomato
group had
seeds you and
assembled
Nancy
their
planted in your
equipment.
garden, how they grew into nice red tomatoes.
Maybe only a trace.
Same way with puppies. God planted the
A
little
small
seeds
group of
inside
civil
old Bess's
defense
tummy.
volunteers
They grow into puppies.
occupy a trench
You mean when
relatively
the
close
puppies
to
come from
ground
inside
zero.
this?
That's
On
right.
Media Hill, where
Remember
I
how fast she was getting?
with hot
Because she
coffee,
was carrying the
loud
puppies
screaming,
inside her.
and
God.
Remember always the
Flash
But
bird.
it
Dad,
seems no
how
time
did the puppies get
for the
out?
loudspeaker was.
Animals of
Well,
many
remember how I
kinds
told you
attend
the
aboard the
inlays made
target
of
vessels to serve as proxies for human proof.
That's every time you open the
Government
measure and it
plans
stretches
to
open
counteract
so the
the
puppies
On
deadly
the
results
silent
of nuclear
desert, the
fission.
test objects waited.
A sheep loses his greasy coat in the interest of science.
before your father gets home and like to get you growing up
Special ointments are applied to determine their protective quality. Other parts of the exposed areas being left bare to the atom blast. Hundreds of samples of pigments, metals, and fabrics are placed aboard the test ships to reveal to the evaluation board and Manhattan District engineers the extent of atomic destruction.
How come, Dad? How are they different?
When God makes a baby, Billy, it's the most wonderful thing in the world. And here's the way he does it. First, he takes this tiny seed from inside the daddy, and he plants the seed inside the mother. Then he breathes into it something we call a soul.
Soul? What's that? I never saw one, Dad.
No, son, we can't see the soul. But it's the most wonderful part of the new baby. Because when the baby grows up to be an old man and dies, they bury his body in the
24
ground.
hours elapsed
But
before
his
we
soul
were permitted to
goes to
view
heaven
at first hand
and lives
the
with God
results of the
forever.
explosion.
Forever and ever?
That's right.
But, Dad, how do real babies get out of their mothers?
Well, that little egg that I told you about, God breathes a soul into it, and it starts to grow. It grows for 9 whole months inside the mother, right under her heart. And then, when it's ready to come out, the mother goes to the hospital so the doctor can help her.
This is the
And
house
the baby
constructed
slips
of
out through the
reinforced
tiny
concrete
opening in her
blocks
body.
after the
You
explosion.
mean Mommy has a hole in her body?
Sure.
Although the
Well, we all
redesigned
have different
two-story
openings in
frame
our
house
bodies
was
for
severely
different things.
damaged,
You
the
have holes in
structural
your nose to
improvements
breathe
had
through and a
strengthened
mouth
its
to stuff
resistance
cookies in.
considerably.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, mothers have a little
As
opening
seen
between
here,
their legs.
although basement shelters
Baby
offered
comes
some
through,
degree
it
of
stretches
protection,
wide.
they cannot be
And it
depended
closes
upon
up.
completely in potential blast areas.
Wait till I tell Nancy.
Well,
The
I
reinforced
think we
bathroom
better
shelter
keep
was
this
standing
secret.
intact beneath the ruins of the house. So this type
Does Mommy
also
know?
offered some degree of protection.
yes, I think Mommy knows. But Nancy's only a baby yet, and she
The
wouldn't
upper
understand.
section
Later
of
on,
one
when she's as
unguided
old as you,
radio
we'll tell
tower
her too.
collapsed
Hey, there's
from the
Mommy now.
tremendous force
I'm
of
going
the
to tell her
blast.
about the puppies.
The
All
guide
right.
tower was slightly twisted by a power pole which fell across one of the guy wires. Within the concrete
Wait, like
radio
old
house,
Shirley there.
equipment had been shaken up.
Hey,
But as soon
Shirley!
as power was restored, the transmitter
Yeah,
resumed
dang you, this thing doesn't
broadcasting.
work better than that.
The
What's the going?
18,000-gallon
Don't
tank
know my own
of liquefied
strength.
petroleum gas was undamaged. Tests showed that even the connections were intact. The weighing and storage house was scattered across the desert, but the consumer-sized